Andover right now. So there's that rotation crossing from Hebron over into Andover, Boston Hill Road, Gilead Road, Route 316, Long Hill Road, you're next, and then continuing east from there. So along Route 6, not too far from the state park, heading down toward Columbia. That's where you're talking about the potential for some pretty serious weather. And the best thing you can do when you have a storm like this, stay indoors, stay away from windows, small interior room, just stay safe as these storms move in, because you're going to hear, it's not just going to be the wind, but you're also going to hear quite a bit of hail coming down on the roof, and that hail can make a lot of noise. Once you start getting quarter-sized hail, that's big hail for Connecticut. They laugh at us in Texas when we talk about quarter-sized hail. That's like another Saturday. But for us, to get quarter or half-dollar size hail, you don't get it very often. But that's certainly an impressive-looking storm, and we've got, I'd say a little bit of what we call a hook echo here, and that, not a surprise with a storm that spins around. You start to wrap some of the rain and some of the hail on the backside of the storm. Call it a rear flank downdraft. That's the technical term for it. And right there, where you've got that little hook, that's where you've got the rotation. So the storm itself is spinning around. And right underneath there, once you get out of the hail, that's where you're talking about the potential for that tornado. So it's on the southern part of the tornado warning, so up toward 44, and pretty much sounding all clear north of 44. So up toward Holland, we're fine. It's right along Route 6, and it should be moving over Route 6 shortly. That's where you've got the potential for that tornado to develop. No reports of a tornado. We've seen some what I call SLCs, or scary-looking clouds, a lot of rotation in the clouds, some hail that has developed. And I'll put the little marker on here to show you where the rotation is. It's right there. It's heading out toward Route 6. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here toward Route 6 and take a look at what's going on. Northern part of Hebron, heading into Andover right now along 316. We've got a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. It's not nearly as strong as it was over Glastonbury. It has weakened, has come down in intensity, but in Andover, you need to be on the lookout for the potential for a tornado. And if you don't get a tornado, count yourself lucky. We do this coverage out of an abundance of caution. There is a risk here, and you can see once again, look at that little, well, let's zoom in a little bit closer here. I see at least some weak rotation continuing. It hasn't gone away yet, and it continues here on Boston Hill Road in Andover, Gilead Road. This is the storm that's moving in, has the potential to produce a tornado. And tornadoes in Connecticut, generally, there's been some exceptions, but generally are fairly weak and short-lived. But weak and short-lived when you live in the woods and you get something like this to move through your house, it can knock down a lot of trees, it can cause some damage. So there's that hook. There's that hook echo right over, heading toward Andover. Remember the tornado we had in Andover back in 2013? This storm reminds me a lot of it, the way it looks. It reminds me a lot of that 2013 storm in Andover, heading toward Route 6, heading toward Route 31, and eventually out toward Mansfield. Let's time it out for you. Storm moving to the east at approximately 35 miles per hour. There's the track of the storm heading out toward Yukon. Let me do that one more time. I think it's going to be on the southern part of this box, the southern part of the tornado warning zone here. I'm talking about Coventry at 623, Mansfield at 629, and moving east from there. So this is the storm. Bolton, you're in the clear now. Glastonbury, we'll give you the all clear in Glastonbury as well. Hebron, still pretty nasty in Hebron, at least the northern part of town. Southern part of Hebron's fine. But once you get farther to the north, that's where you've got that potential for that rotation. The storm's spinning around, moving across 316 now in Andover, heading toward Route 6. Let's switch it back toward the velocity mode. See what we've got. See if we have anything else. Same.
All right, Ryan, but there still is a good amount of rotation on the Brookhaven radar.
All right. So yeah, but I agree with you. Not a whole lot there, but you got at least some rotation over Andover. Let me zoom back out so I can take a look at what you were saying from the New York radar. Yep, right there over Andover. Still some rotation. So it's the same spot we were looking at. So this is the area we tracked heading out of Glastonbury. And if you are in Andover, if you're in Coventry, if you're in portions of Columbia, it's right along Route 6. That's where we've got to be concerned for that possible tornado. You need to be indoors, away from windows, get into a safe spot. Let's take a look at what you should do in the event of a tornado. Just a reminder, this can be common sense, but it certainly bears repeating. The kids are watching at home. don't panic. We go through these several times a year here in Connecticut. Just stay safe, stay inside, stay away from windows. Don't look outside. When the hail comes in, it's going to be loud. The wind's going to be loud as well. But as long as you're inside, away from windows, small interior room, or even a basement, those are the safest places to be in a storm like this that's moving on through. So there's our tornado warning. It's to the east of Hartford, moving through Tolland County, and then it's going to head out toward Windham County shortly. Let's take a closer look here. Let me go back if I can. Take a look at the storm. I'm going to pull up the velocity data one more time.
And Ryan, while you're doing that, the hail has diminished a little bit, down to 0.9. So the hail core falling out, falling apart just a little bit.
Good. The more it can diminish, the better. There's no doubt about that. If you have any reports or any pictures, we'd love to see them too. You can email us photos at NBCConnecticut.com. It's a great way to send in your reports, but only do so if it's safe. I don't want you standing outside trying to get us a picture. It's not worth it.
And Ryan, I do have an update from the National Weather Service. Checked in with them on what they were thinking, and they are going to continue this warning. They're seeing just what we're seeing is some good rotation.
Yep, so there's that rotation over Andover. Not as strong as it was in Glastonbury, but certainly some rotation. This is the southern part of the tornado warning box. So the tornado warning almost goes up to Tolland, but it's this area down here in Andover along Route 6 heading toward Columbia that we're watching next. Let's go street level. We've got great technology. The radar is exceptionally precise. It can get us down into street level, some of the areas. I'm going to go a little bit farther from where the storm is because I want to show you where the storm's going. We know where it is, but we want to know where it's going next. Parker Bridge Road, Woodward Road. These are all in portions of Andover and heading toward Columbia. The town border's right around here, so pretty close. Whitney Road, Stonewall Lane, Hop River Road, over toward Pucker Street. Those are the areas that are next at risk for the storm as it moves in. So as the storm approaches your town, here's what you're going to see. At first, you're going to get a lot of heavy rain and some hail. So in these areas, you're already getting the hail that's coming down and some heavy rain. Hail now probably to the size of peas, maybe dime-sized hail. As that passes, the wind is going to pick up from the opposite direction, and that's where you have this little rotation right along Route 6. So heading down toward 87. So Route 6 intersection with 87. That's where you are right now. There's the center of Columbia. Columbia Lake's right there. There's the center of Columbia, H.W. Porter School in Columbia right there near the town center. And then you can go up 66 and head out toward Willimantic.